Can you guys imagine how it would be if you ditched your iPhone and decided to go back to a BlackBerry? Could you imagine how much of a shock it would be to your system? I recently made a decision to roll back technology in my life to a level that is equivalent from going from an iPhone back to a BlackBerry. Stay tuned, guys. I'm going to tell you about how I did this, why I did this, and how my life is so much better right now. Stay tuned. I'm going to tell you all about it here in a second. Hey, what's up, everybody? That's right. You reached your favorite guy. I am Andre Reese.biz. I'll say it another way. Andre Reese.biz. That's right, guys. Andre Reese.biz. Not only do I do taxes, I do a whole bunch of other stuff. I have a tax and accounting practice, of course, that you guys are all familiar with. I also sell online, Amazon, and eBay. The best thing you can do for your life today is book a consultation. You can find out all the things that I do for you by visiting AndreReese.biz. I allow my clients and people that are interested in establishing a consultation with me to understand better how that they can take advantage of the tax code and minimize your taxes and improve the efficiency of your business. I'll also go through and help you understand what it takes to be able to maintain records, which would be suitable for an audit. We can do all that by booking a consultation through AndreReese.biz. And of course, I want you guys to always stay tuned until the end. I always give a business opportunity and deduction advice to you guys as well. And remember, none of this is financial advice. It's all designed to be for educational purposes, so don't take it serious. Like I said, I don't play an attorney on TV, never have, don't even play a financial advisor on television either. But if you want to book a consultation, I can take the time to understand your business and give you information that's specifically tailored to your situation that will allow you to become a more abundant individual and have a better life by paying less taxes, of course. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like this video. I'm always trying to get closer to 1,000 subscribers. That way I can go ahead and monetize this channel. And so let's go ahead and jump right into it, guys. I don't know if you've been able to figure it out or not, but I took the step. I reached down deep into my soul and pulled out the intestinal fortitude to be able to toss my Apple Watch to the side and go back to an analog watch. I know there's a whole bunch of you out there right now are like, I would never, ever, ever wear a piece of tracking technology on my arm. I don't know why you think it's such a big deal to switch back over to something that's analog, which we've been doing all along anyway. This is not about that. This is not that kind of video. I personally have been an Apple fan dude for decades, so it all started originally with iTunes and getting the iPod, and then eventually Samsung used to be my favorite phone to buy, but eventually I ended up buying one of the iPhones, and then I've got Apple TVs, and just after a while, stuff just works together. It's great. And then, of course, they came out with a number of different generations of Apple Watches. At some point down the road, I think I might have, so I've owned 2 Apple Watches, essentially. At some point, I bought maybe the 2nd or 3rd generation, had that for a while, and I've always had Fitbits before that, and then there's been other types of fitness devices. So, of course, I made the switch to go ahead and upgrade to the Apple Watch, I thought, in my mind, because I was trying to, and this, like I said, this is all just my personal opinion. I made the decision in my mind to switch over to the Apple Watch because I was able to get everything integrated. So like I said, now I have iPads. I've had those in the past. I have Mac computers now. I have MacBooks. So it makes complete logical sense to go ahead and get yourself an Apple Watch. And like I said, I've owned 2 of them. This is the first one that I had. I think it's the 3rd generation, 3rd iteration of the watch. This one here I actually have listed on eBay. And then when there was a couple of generations that came out after that, I ended up upgrading. So I think I had this one roughly for about 2 years or so, a little bit over 2 years. And then I went ahead and upgraded to the most recent current version. I don't know if this is the Apple Watch, 7 series. So I guess this is probably the 4th series, and this is probably the 7th series, and maybe the 3rd, and then the 7th. I can't see the label on here easily. But I waited a while to go ahead and buy the next iteration of a watch, hoping and praying that it would be a lot more useful. So when I went ahead and bought the watch and got it set up, it was nice to have a little bit larger display. It seemed like the battery life lasted about the same amount of time. But overall, I didn't really notice that much of a difference. So a lot of people make these commercials about how, Apple generations change from one year to the next, and they may add a new color or something like that, but everything else really inside didn't change. I don't know if that's the case in the watch. There are some distinguishable differences, but for the benefit of me, I didn't necessarily see anything that stood out to me as far as, being better make it well worth it. Besides the fact that the Apple 3 watch that I had, or 4, whatever it was, the battery was starting to last a little bit less, so I know it's expensive to be able to get those swapped out. So I just figured I'd go ahead and sell it off and then turn around and get myself a brand new watch. And so that's what I did. And then the thing about me is the watch itself, I buy the cellular version of it. So it allows me to hook it up and have access. So it's nice to think that you can be running someplace and, fall down. It'd probably be worth it in that particular situation where you can actually call on your watch and get help, but so I went ahead and got that option. So it runs roughly about $10 a month being added on to Verizon. So it's about $120 a year. And so that's kind of the basic setup as far as how I had my Apple Watch going. So how did this all happen? How did I decide to ditch it one day? So recently I realized all along I've been different. So I am personality and archetype type. I am a Sigma male empath. So look it up. You guys will be able to see what that is. We are very meticulous in the things that we do. And a lot of us are lone wolves. And most importantly, a lot of us are minimalists. So what I've done in my life is I've gone from having a whole bunch of stuff down to just minimal amount of things that I have. And so one of the things I do spend money on and do appreciate is technology. So of course, at this point now in my life, as I continue to try to minimalize my life, I'm always looking for things I could get rid of. So one day I was in my car driving out of the area, going from point A to point B. And what was happening was I kept getting all these notifications that were popping up on my watch. Instagram notifications. I know you can stop all this stuff. I was getting text notifications. I was getting other things that were coming up from Facebook, email notifications. And I kept looking over at my watch, and then what I would do, I'd reach over and grab my phone and take a look and see what it said. So at that moment I realized, you know what? I don't really even use this watch. I really don't. It doesn't provide me any benefit. And there's a lot of times where I'll take the watch, because it only lasts about a day, maybe a little bit longer than a day. I'll take the watch and put it on the charger. It might go 2 or 3 or 4 days where I don't have my watch on at all. I'm just using my phone, all the time. So I was thinking, I don't use this watch, and if I spend $10 a month on this watch times a year is $1,200 or $120. If I multiply that out over 10 years, that's $1,200 that I can use on something else. So I made the decision at that point. I said, you know what? I got the box. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the watch, and I did. Pull the watch box, and I did. I went online and discontinued my watch service through Verizon. At least tried to attempt to do that. In order for you to disconnect service, you're going to have to physically call them, and they'll do that over the phone. And then once I did that, I was pretty much done. And so what did I decide to do at that point? I decided to go ahead and buy analog watch. And so an analog watch, it tells the time, and I have it more or less on just for decoration purposes. And I ended up buying 2 analog watches. I bought this one right here, which is I think it's an Armitron. When I was a kid, this was like a trash brand, but they are still around, and they make a ton of different watches. I think I bought this one on Amazon for like $50. I was looking for something that was sporty, so if I wanted to get in the water or go bike riding, I'd be able to have that. And so that's what I ended up buying, this particular watch right here. So it's got a digital readout on it, and it's got a bunch of other stuff that it does too. Yeah, I don't even know what it does. At this point, it's really just for decoration. You can kind of see it. It's got a lot of buttons, and it's kind of large, so it kind of shows up really nice on my wrist. Then the other watch I did another video on, I bought this Diesel Big Daddy. It measures roughly about 60 millimeters across the face. It's large. And so this is kind of like my more of a dress watch. It's made out of metal. So if I'm going to be out and about, maybe seeing a client, I'm not going to be doing anything that's going to involve getting wet or sweaty. I'm going to go ahead and grab this watch and use it. If it's anything that's going to be more athletic, my day, I'll go ahead and grab this particular watch and use that one. So that's kind of what I did. I went ahead and switched down to 2 red analog watches that have no links to my phone. And I'll tell you what, it's been probably about a month or so since I've switched down from the Apple Watch, and I don't miss it at all. So is this something you can consider? Sure. What I would say is, if you get value from using your Apple Watch, use it. A lot of people keep track of the steps. I have that function in the Apple Watch. I never used it at all. It also, and I think one of the reasons why I ended up buying this new version is because it had a method in it where it did a better job. I'm more or less a bike rider. I do a lot of mountain biking. And once you're supposed to get on your bike with this new 7 version, it's supposed to automatically recognize that you're on your bike and start recording your routes. But one of the things that I do is I use a separate app in my phone that tracks all of my rides. So as soon as I start out, it keeps track of where I've gone, the map, the elevation that I've traveled, all that type of stuff. It's all done right through the app, and I can go back and review everything later on. So I don't even use that function within the Apple Watch itself. So in the end, guys, what's my conclusion? If you get value from Apple Watch or a technical watch, or another type of watch that has a lot of technology built into that's linked to your phone, and you enjoy it, hey, do it. Be proud of it. But if you don't get a lot of value from it, there's nothing wrong with switching back to an analog watch. And like I said before, originally in the bumper, it'd be a kind of equivalent from me going from my original watch. It's equivalent to going from an iPhone, and I said a BlackBerry, but I think in reality, it might even, a BlackBerry is still fairly advanced. I think it might even be equivalent to going back to like one of the original Motorola brick phones or one of the Motorola flip phones that they had. So that's how much of a stark contrast in having a super smart watch versus going back down to something analog. And make your own decision on what you guys want to do. I just want to let you guys know what my journey was and why I'm strictly just rocking the Apple, actually the analog watch now. And I've gone ahead and ditched my Apple Watch. So I'd be more than happy to hear from you guys in the comments what you guys think about me downsizing, technologically downsizing back to analog watch. And if you guys have done the same thing too, let me know. I'd be interested to hear why you guys did it and where you are in your journey. And I think maybe at some point down the road, if these watches do something that's absolutely incredible, that that's a benefit that has not been created, that I'm like, wow, that is incredible. Maybe I'll consider getting one of the watches, but in the meantime now, I think I'll go ahead and stick back to just an ordinary watch, for sure. I'll just leave it at that. And so I'll go ahead and wrap everything up here. I think the last thing we'll talk about, of course, why you guys waited to the end of this video, is to talk about the business opportunities. Now, when it comes to technology, there's Moore's laws, things are always constantly advancing. I'll tell you what, there are still people on this planet that appreciate and still use old technology. So one business opportunity that exists, I'll tell you what, if you can find VHS tapes right now for VCRs, you're thinking, oh my God, why would anybody, there are people out there right now that still use VCRs. You can't go into any store, and it's very difficult to find blank VHS tapes. There's also very difficult to find VCRs these days, especially if somebody has an extensive collection at their home and their VCR breaks. They're going to want to try to go online to eBay and buy one, or Amazon. Some of those VCRs, look them up. They can sell for $3, $4, $5. And if it has an HDMI output on the back, it's over $1,000. You might be able to find one of these at Goodwill, for $4.99. And if you do, go ahead and turn around and resell it and make a mint off of that. So you can always buy old technology and turn around and resell it and make a gang of loot off of that. And I always recommend, as people switch back over to analog watches, maybe or maybe not, or they have a collection of watches that they haven't used. And that's another thing. Now that I don't have my smartwatch, if I have a whole box full of other watches that don't have the battery, I now have the freedom to use those watches if I decide to, once I get a battery replacing them. So I have a whole box of watches that are not working. If somebody was able to come to my house and sit at my kitchen table and charge me $10 a watch and replace the batteries in them right there, I'd be more than happy to pay that. That's definitely worth it. Or if they had a little booth outside, or they had a vehicle outside that they were able to work from, I think I'd be, depending on what type of watch it was, I'd want to probably have them inside. That way they couldn't swap anything out on the watch itself. That's an incredible opportunity to be able to develop a mobile jewelry repair or cleaning or maintenance service. That's always going to be a great opportunity. And finally, to talk about the deductions here, all the stuff I've talked about today, whether it's buying an Apple Watch, paying for the service for it, whatever it might be, if you're buying old Blackberries or your Apple phone, whatever it might be, these things are all going to be deductible business expenses if you own the right business. So if you're reselling, if you buy Apple Watches for $100, you turn around and sell them for $500, this is the deductible expense. If you have an Apple Watch that you use for business, strictly for business, for a business purpose, that becomes a deductible expense as well. We can always talk about those things. Of course, any of the supplies that you're going to use or incur in running your business, and of course, automotive, cell phone, home office, and everything else would all be deductible expenses against the income that you earn for your business. So like I said, always book a consultation to be able to better understand these things with me. You can do that directly through AndreReese.biz. I'll go ahead and wrap everything up here. It's a beautiful Saturday afternoon, and the brother's got stuff to do. So, all right, guys, I'll go ahead and wrap everything up, like I said. And if there's any questions you guys got, hit me up in the comments below. I'll try to answer those. And like I said, I'm more than interested in hearing about how you may have gone from a very high-tech, sophisticated, high-tech piece of equipment like a Apple Watch back down to something very, very simple as Armatron analog watch. Let me know. Take care, guys. Be safe, and I will see you guys on the other side in the next video. Peace. Take care. Hey guys, thanks for sticking with me all the way to the end of this video. Visit me directly at AndreReese.biz. 4 things to do: like, follow, subscribe, hit that bell. Stay safe, guys. Lift the glass of freedom. Stay woke and don't get TikTok. Take care. I will see you guys in the next video.